and we're getting into the news review segment. We're going to have an interesting conversation this morning on some topical issues. We invite you to join us by sending us your thoughts, your comments, and contributions via the WhatsApp number on your screens. Join us on socials. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube. We are very, very interactive on X, very engaging on IG, that's Instagram. You get to enjoy some video content from ChannelOne TV as well as on TikTok. All right, so let us know what your thoughts are. But quickly, let me say good morning to the gentlemen in the studio, and then we can zoom straight into our business of the day. Lamtig Apanga is the Deputy CEO of the Gaming Commission. Good morning. Good to have you.
Good morning, my brother. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Great,
I trust you're well.
Good, very well.
Awesome, awesome. Dr. Dixon Adomako Kisi is a former member of parliament for the good people of Anyaso Tuom. Honorable, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you. And then we have Larry Dogbe. He's the editor of the Herald newspaper. Bossman, I took the managing away. I hope there's no problem.
No.
Managing editor.
Even there's no certificate attached to it.
Okay. So you are free. GTech won't come after you. Very well, gentlemen. It's good to have you in the studio. Yesterday, there was a big one. In fact, it started spinning somewhere around the weekend. We saw some activists projecting or predicting a by-election coming up. Little did we know that the High Court sitting in Tamale was going to declare a rerun of the Kpandai parliamentary elections. Matthew Nyindam is the member of parliament, and his election was contested, and the court has ruled that EC organizes a rerun of that election in 30 days. Doc, how did we get here?
Well, let me do the needful thing of saying good morning to your many listeners. In fact, every time I leave here, listeners and viewers, actually. Anytime I leave here, I get a lot of interesting feedback from your program. So kudos to it.
Thank you.
And then also the code cards, interesting, but yeah, we'll get into that later. But I'm troubled by this High Court decision, especially in the wake of the fact that I thought that election-related petitions and court cases were to be dealt with in a very quick time. I mean, this is 10 months plus after the election. I'm very curious as to why the delay. When there's been cascading events, this man has been confirmed, gone through all of this, and this is a serious psychological trauma to not just the person in question, but to the entire constituency. I mean, you're putting them through such an unfortunate thing, and this timeline of 30 days. What really amounted to this? Is it the incompetence of the EC, or what really happened? I haven't read the ruling entirely, but I'm deeply concerned. I thought, in view of some of the happenings, the presidential had some time limit, and the parliamentary should have also had some time limit in terms of if there are any court cases that need to be dealt with. Granted, this is very different from Kweson's situation, which was more of like the state against Kweson. Kpandai, there was a former MP who was NDC, and as it stands, it swung. Well, I thought it swung to the MPP, and for the court to bring this. What happens after is for the Electoral Commission to serve notice to the Speaker of Parliament, and then the Speaker will then declare the seat vacant, which then I think will trigger all the other things. I'm told that the MPP is entirely not happy with this decision. It begs the question, are we going to participate or not?
Well, the individual, Matthew Nyindam, says he will, although he's filed notices of appeal and a stay of execution.
Well, that one.
He says he's not afraid of a rerun. He will contest.
We need to be very careful based on the Ablikman North situation. What's the party stand? What's the candidate stand? It has to be married carefully. And you know, the leverage that the NDC has as in being the party in power, and the fact that citizenry, once they know that the government is in another party's hand, tend to now want to flow with government in power so that they can get low-hanging fruits from the government. So that leverage is always a problem. And I must admit, as it stands now, even in your strongest hold, if you're not careful and you have a by-election now.
The stronghold is so strong.
I mean, listen, I'm here, let me admit, Domi Kabinya fell.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the politics in this country is almost as if there are no strongholds. The politics of this country.
Someone said the NDC can fail the candidate in the MPP presidential primaries and win.
No, that as for that one, la. It will happen. But in all truthfulness, I think the court has done a disservice to the people in that, you know, sometimes there should be a balancing act where the judiciary would ask, what good will come out of this? You know, what good really?
The public good.
You know, no. Let's be very.
Public policy.
Yeah, I mean, and woe betides this court who's trying to put us at 86 seats. I'm deeply concerned, but more important, I think that I'm hoping to see the party stand and the candidate stand merge so that the things are settled. Because this variance between what the candidate wants and what the party wants is a bit, unfortunate. But be it as it may, by-elections is not a one-man show.
True.
And he certainly will need the backing of the party machinery to be able to marshal the needed forces under the NDC regime, which, as we all know, once you're in power, you certainly have access to, matchsticks and the likes, which cutlasses. I don't know what the main thing in Kpandai is, if it's farming or
farming.
If it's farming, then fertilizers and things like that. So, and those things, whether you like it or not, can induce the voters. And like I said, just by virtue of you informing voters that, listen, our government is in power, though we don't need the extra seat, we are coming for it. And these are the benefits you get having a member of parliament doing business with your government in power.
Right.
And those things can be so powerful to the simplest voter. It's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And the key reason why we always run presidential and parliamentary at the same time, to avoid this leverage, or as it is, overreaching. And to be under the best of circumstances, even the likes of Afenyomark, and I'm not saying that we're going after his seat, but as powerful as he is, if he goes and meets this temptation, I would hope that he prays that thing that Christ did at the top. He said, "Do not tempt your Lord, your God." This one, the judges are tempting the MPP, and to a large extent, I'm deeply concerned. I'm deeply concerned in terms of the delay. 10 good months, this person has settled in and is working. Beyond losing your seat through death, or some technicalities in terms of changing your own party. It's very complex. Should the party not agree to run the election based on principle, then the MP current may have to go independent. You know, I mean, that's another route. But he has to weigh all of these options and based on conviction, which someone also had in Ablekuma North, go at it. But it's not going to be easy, especially because of the leverage that the other former MP has. I think his name was Wakpao, I forgot it.
Yeah, Daniel Insala Wakpao.
Yeah.
Insala Wakpao.
Yeah, my goodness. I thought he even made it. I didn't know he was not in Parliament. Interesting. You know, so this is another test. But in the future, I hope that these things are dealt with in rapid time. You know, 30, 60 days or so that we have closure.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seep into all kinds of things. Because this one, the emolument processes, all of this complicates. And most of them have received their SUVs and things like that.
They received it already.
Yeah, and you're paying
It's a
your
loan.
deduction. Yeah, you know, so it's all of these
So do
things.
you pass it on, or what do you do?
Well, let's see how it
No, he
goes.
can take it and then pay back.
Pay off.
Pay off. Yeah.
So then if the NDC candidate wins, he
Oh,
also
that's
comes
a
to
He
different-
another
also have
one.
his own
It's a
arrangement.
separate
know.
contract.
Very well.
So it's a very complex thing. And I know the Speaker of Parliament, I mean, listen, quite frankly, he'll do what he has to do. Once the Electoral Commission sends him notice that they are running the election, whether the MPP will contest or not, they are running. And Jean Mensah has no other choice based on the High Court's decision.
Very well.
Yeah.
Very well. The difference between Nyindam and Wakpao in the election was just about. So Nyindam won by
The apparent, based on the
exactly
companies now.
won by
It's not
27,000.
apparent anymore, is it?
So what I'm saying is that, well,
He won. Matthew Nyindam won by 27,947, and Insala Wakpao 24,213. Wakpao went to court based on irregularities he suspects in 51 out of the 152 polling stations.
Wow.
But the court order is for a rerun of the entire constituency. If the court had ordered a rerun in the 41 polling stations in the constituency, would it have made a difference?
Good morning to you again, and good morning to your listeners. Let me, before I even come into the substantive issue, to congratulate our legal team for the good job that they've done so far. I mean, you know that we've had some election petitions, particularly in parliamentary seats, pending prior to right after the elections. And because the media has not been following happenings in court, most people think that some of these cases have been either been abandoned or have been withdrawn or are not being contested. But it is actually being contested. And what I associate myself with the comments of my brother that the delay may be a bit unnecessary and create a bit of problems for all of us, because when you're already in the system and have settled, it's quite difficult to now go back and then go what you may call factory setting. But then it is much of an improvement than what we've had before. Because if you remember very well, I was so woken.
some cases
Rebecca.
run for 4 years.
Yes, Rebecca Adote contested Amu,
George
Amu, and for 4 years, the decision was made at the end of the term.
Of the tenure of the MP.
And so
That's
it
proper
made,
mafia.
it made no, well, I would not want to call it system failure.
Okay.
But there's now a better improvement in the system, and we have seen it in less than a year. At least a decision has been made.
Right.
We would have wished that decision would have come maybe in a month or perhaps in 3 months, so that will save the time, the inconvenience, and everything that comes along with it. But it is what it is, so we have to move on. Now, because we don't have the benefit of the full judgment of the courts, except for the decision or the order for the rerun, we are unable to assess what exactly went into the court decision to call for an entire rerun. It may perhaps be the case that the court was seized with facts and evidence that supports the fact that there's a need for a rerun.
Use the word overwhelming. Overwhelming facts.
Perhaps, of course, in favor of
the ruling is in favor of one camp, so clearly.
The victorious party. And of course, we need to congratulate the gentleman who went to court. What we need to even do more is to appreciate the fact that nobody took up to the streets and that we felt that it was necessary to go to court. It's a much healthier, safer, and a civil way to settle disputes than to hit the road, bend ties, block road, cause mayhem, go and bend places. This is much better. And I think to both parties, even with the losing party, it's a good opportunity, and I'm glad that
the rerun has not happened. So
no, not the rerun. Talking about going to court alone and being able to go through the process successfully and seeing it to the end. I mean, the respondent or the defendant could have decided not to participate, could have decided not to even bring himself to court. But he has done so, and so we should be able to welcome the two parties that they've done well in participating in the judicial process, even though we hope that it would have been done much earlier. But come to your issue about why the difference. Our conversation will be much informed when we have the judgment, when we know exactly what are the reasons why the judge made this determination. But the most important thing is that the court has nullified that election, has called for a rerun. The gentleman has expressed his desire to contest, which tells us that he strongly believes that he won the election. And I'm glad that the NDC candidate is given an opportunity to contest now. You know, in other cases, you could actually use the irregularities to nullify and declare a party as a winner. Do you understand? But that will perhaps give one party an unfair advantage.
And overreaching.
But now, exactly, but now the court is giving all of them a new page, go and contest. Even though to some extent it's not very good for, because it takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of resources to contest an election. But it's an opportunity. If you say the elections were flawed with a lot of irregularities, let's go out there and then rerun the elections and see who wins. And I'm sure, of course, we've seen it. My brother has said it here. It's not just a question of advantage that we have as a ruling government, but it's also the fact that the government is performing well.
Right.
The government is performing well.
It's testament to the good governance of John.
Of course, we've seen it.
What's your metrics for?
Having seen the city's performance.
Where is the new defense minister?
You don't need to.
For me, governance.
You don't need to remind us of the painful demise of the defense minister. But then you know that sometimes there is a caretaker. No, it's all right. It's very normal of the elephants to find them all over the place. It's okay. It's okay. You come
trample over the umbrella.
Come on the umbrella and find solace.
It looks like the elephant is under the umbrella.
No. It is. It's impossible.
The umbrella is giving the elephant.
There's no umbrella big enough for the elephant.
Really?
No umbrella big enough.
What of a maki?
An umbrella is an umbrella.
We swag our hand.
Absolutely. Let's get back to the issues.
Very well, I'm thinking.
So my point is that we need to welcome this development. It is good. And it's also a reflection that, I mean, the hope we have in winning the election, come by any by-election, is the fact that it's a reflection of the performance of the government. I mean, we've seen it in the performance of the economy. We've seen it, the fact that the government promised that will run the administration with 60 ministers and is doing so with even under 60 ministers.
And Galamsey.
Of course, and we've seen the fight against Galamsey. We said we'll end Galamsey. And we are fighting Galamsey. It's not as though we are sleeping over it or we are getting involved. As your party members were caught pants down, fully involved, deeply involved. You understand?
I didn't say gold borders, legalized Galamsey. I didn't say that.
No, you don't have to feed it to that narrative. I mean, you know that. Of course, you know that. And so I'm glad that, I mean, this development has come up. We welcome it. We wait to see what the Speaker would do, and then the EC. But
The
what is
EC
what is
would do
concerned?
The EC upon being served.
EC has been served. I've seen
Right.
documents showing that the EC has been served. EC will notify the speaker. Speaker
Maybe by Monday.
will declare the seat vacant.
I mean Tuesday. Sorry.
What may be an outstanding issue is the pending application for stay
notice of appeal.
and then notice of appeal. But since the applicant himself says that he's going to participate, I don't.
He says he's not afraid of a rerun. Yeah.
So let's see what the coming days will be. Yes.
Very well. Well, I mean, we wait to see the ruling of the court itself. And
Yes.
I mean, based on that, because I asked about the statistics in there, because of the dynamics also. The 41 polling stations that were being contested, in which area in Kpandai are they? And whose stronghold?
What's the size?
You get it? And what are the numbers from there? If we add it on, will it make a difference? You see, would all those, dynamics will come to play.
They will look at all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at this
when
stage,
they do the ruling.
at this stage, it matters not. The court have decided.
Yeah.
So that is just perhaps a discussion to exercise our brains.
But it will feed into the court's decision.
And it makes
Absolutely.
it difficult for them to grant the stay, especially when they've gone beyond the 41.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that means they are very clear in your mind.
And
But
they've
how
been
many of
objective to other
how many of the
entire
people
constituency.
agreed to? I mean, how many people were seated and panelled for the High Court? Do we know?
Oh, no.
No, the High
Usually,
Court was just one judge.
a single
Yeah,
judge
a single
sits
judge.
a single judge
A
sits
single
on
judge.
those issues.
Yeah.
Anyways, let me come to you, Larry.
Yeah. But okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have an interesting story about Kpandai.
Which is this? Wakpa was my senior in Bishop Herman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And if you know Wakpa very well, when he grabs something, he will die with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he will die with it. I have my own stories with Wakpa. He was a compound overseer, deputy, actually. So you can see who the characters, characters who become compound overseers, because I mean,
They'll be on you.
yeah, very robotic.
Yeah.
They don't know senior abeg. They'll die with you.
Strict.
Oh yeah.
They won't bend for you.
Even when your mother comes, forget it. Wakpa.
IGP.
Hard guy.
Oh yeah, hard guy. Wakpa. Wakpa. Anyway, there's another story which I don't want to talk about now. But Wakpa, he's a very tough guy.
And so I'm not surprised that, he's taking this position.
Yeah.
Particularly when he believes that he's right. He will die with you. Yeah. So I'm not surprised at all. But as you said, we don't have the benefit of the judgment.
Sure.
Why Wakpa will apply for the rerun in the 41 constituency. Sorry, polling. Yes.
Polling stations. Yeah.
However, the judge in question gave a rerun for for the constituency. But having said that, this is not the first time that a rerun is being ordered. Apparently, in Kwanta, there was a rerun sometime 1996, and then at Tebubu, a maintain 2004 due to violence. The other one, that is in Kwanta one, that was irregularity and then logistics. And then Akwetia, 6 polling stations were supposed to be rerun. I think in 2008, violence, ballots, snatching. Esutifi South, partial rerun, disturbance. Then 2020, Senate.
That's Collins Lauda.
Yes,
Esutifi
For Esutifi South. Then Senate 2020, 1 police station rerun, ballot snatching.
I think recently to Akwetia again, there was also a by-election.
But that was
death.
Okay, that was death. Okay. So,
Quasin.
yes, and then
Rerun.
Quasin, rerun.
Asing.
Yes.
Yeah.
South
That's in
also.
South.
So, this is not the first time. Now, I think that there's this point we need to make quite strongly. What does the EC, or what's the program for EC after every election? Do they sit down to say that, we are reviewing what we have done? Here we fell short. Okay, here, we did well.
so that going forward, we know what to do, how to do it, so that we wouldn't be having issues of this nature. You get it? We've been at this since 1992. But even 1992 is not when the first election was held in this country.
Yeah.
Way back, Kwame Nkrumah and, his people went through elections and so on to become a prime minister or thereabout. So it's something we need to perfect. Okay, we watch other countries and how they run their stuff. We've also been told within that the courts are there to help. The police, are on, red alert to intervene if issues of such nature happens. But very often, we don't get to see the benefits of all the money that we pump into this particular thing. EC, after declaring results, goes to bed. Then the court will have to be called upon to say that, listen, look at this particular situation. Today, Dixon is talking about, or suggested that it's because NDC is in office, that is why the courts are, virtually granting other things.
No, I didn't say that.
You suggested.
Are you inferring?
Is that?
Are you drawing inference?
It's not my inference. That is what he suggested.
Today I haven't gone after the court at all.
In fact, you made comments to that.
To that effect.
That what? Oh, what?
Oh,
that what?
That the courts appear to be.
To be what?
To be pleasing NDC people.
In fact, you even sounded a warning. I wanted to draw attention, but let it slide. You said, woe unto that court.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, you actually did. You said, woe unto that court, which was more or less a warning of
which would
an
be
effect.
contempt of court.
I mean,
What I'm saying is
I don't think he meant it, so I tried not to let it
I agree with
be a big
you.
issue. Yes,
I agree
I
with
don't want
you.
to get my brother into unnecessary trouble.
Yes,
I may
yes,
be
yes,
his lawyer and earn some fees.
He has some good
No,
money.
my whole point was
Yeah.
that the judiciary should be a bit careful in trying to take us to 40.
No, there's
No, I don't think. I don't
That's
think.
what I said.
I don't think it's fair to
Judicial-
say that they should be careful. The
A bit
judiciary
cautious.
there's no point in being cautious.
Okay.
They are following the law.
Okay.
Their duty is to follow the law.
Yeah.
If we think that there's any breach of the law or they've gone contrary to the law, we have rights as the right of appeal. We have right to petition. We have right to do a lot of things. What we need to say is perhaps to call on the Chief Justice to improve on the systems for election challenges and petitions, so that we would have quicker outcomes.
Oh, I said that.
Yes, which I agree, but not to make it look like it is the individual judge or if you appreciate the way the court system works. It may be in my advantage as a lawyer for someone who is in occupation to prolong a case, to drag the case, to file for adjournment, bring in processes,
how many of you do.
bring in appeals, go for
All the
stay,
legal
all the
access.
things that you can do. But there are limits to what you can
The
do.
chamber has to
Now, now, if you put in systems that allows us to review some of those things and even gives quicker responses, so if you file any appeal to the Court of Appeal, it should take 7 days for it to be heard, and then the decision should be made. I mean, we have seen an expert application filed by Fenyo Markins on the same day, heard on the same day, granted on the same day.
I didn't support
We-
it.
You didn't support it.
So just as we are able to see that quick reaction, quick action from the court, we may want to see that there's some
10 months.
system that allows us to be able to do this
10
pretty
months.
faster and quicker
Yeah.
and tidy, so that we don't have issues like this in our hands.
Especially for me with corruption-related cases.
Yeah.
They need to be
Forensics
expedited.
takes time. Forensic accounting takes time.
So as I was saying, that we make so many promises during let's say before the election.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it's monetary whatever is put on some of these things. The courts are there. I'm sure if you pick any of the newspapers right now, we will see promises that the Chief Justice then made as far as the election is concerned. We'll also see promises that the EC also made before the 2024 election. We'll also see what the IGP then talked about as far as law enforcement is concerned. We can't have, these institutions working in silos. they need to work together, okay, so that issues of this nature will be addressed. You recall this Amewu, the Amewu matter.
So,
Where a whole
Guan.
Yes.
Same.
Well, 4 communities were
Exactly.
Deprived of representation.
Yes. And it took 4 years to do that. I mean, when we all
Strategic 4 years.
thanks to his government.
Yes. All we need to do is, flout this particular aspect of the Constitution. And then we trigger a process. Somebody else will, flout one. And then you also flout it.
Yeah.
And we make, we just make nonsense of that particular document that is supposed to guarantee our freedom, our rights, and then our responsibilities. When we continue that, we are running into trouble.
True.
Okay, institutions of this nature that are resourced, that are supposed to guarantee one thing or the other and get the system running, should be working together. Not that we go today, oh, okay, this one, we are not respecting it. The other one, we are just doing the thing just for...
To add to your thing, not to take your time.
We've already taken it.
I am always worried when, for instance, the universities are dependent on the students to provide them with their results slip. I'm wondering why WAEC cannot, like in terms of some of these internal matters, or an institution asking me for my tax clearance when in fact government gives me that from NHIS. Those things are so just. I mean,
so for instance, the bank has access to your voter's ID and even Ghana card.
And when you go there, they're asking for it.
Oh no, they want to see it and then just run it through their system and it pops out. If it's original or fake.
That one I can agree to test it.
To test it.
But sometimes when they are demanding from you, and let me just put it out there, the Ghana Armed Forces is demanding students to have their WAEC, whatever.
Slips.
Listen, once you have the names, go and put a letter to WAEC and get it. Because you'd rather give people the chance to corrupt your data. So
But if there's a cost involved, the armed forces wouldn't want to bear that cost. Because mind you,
people are paying
it's not
for
all applicants who will eventually be enlisted.
No, people are paying 200 and something for this thing. Then cost it well.
No, but then what's the role of the applicant? You also have a duty to play. You have a part to play in
but then
updating information.
you bought a voucher, and out of that voucher, something can be put on it, so that then you would have paid in advance.
Listen, the stampede came out of document verification.
No.
I mean,
That's what they were there for.
Body screening and
but
everything.
That's my key point. That why don't we make life easy for ourselves?
The documents could have been verified online.
It can't be done. You understand? So my key point
we'll
here
get
is
there.
that
Digitization.
we need to act with synergy in this country and make our lives easy. As people carry on. Sorry.
So just to conclude, I think that state institutions need to work together.
Synergy.
And also that as a people, we also have to cooperate. Because I think the politics is becoming one to...
Everything
has been politicized. Everything has been politicized. And we've played this thing several times over. We've been here. It's something that, what are the requirements? You get it? What are the requirements? This is what you're supposed to do. That is why you've been given this form. It's gone through this process, it's gone through that process, it's gone through that process. Can we respect it? Do you get it? Can we respect the procedure? So at the bottom of most of this we run has to do with procedure. Sometimes, other times then you have people, who during the counting stage, when the thing is not going well, then quickly, then they spark violence. You get it? But with the nature of whatever it is that we have run all this while, when we have police deployed to a lot of these polling stations and so on, what are the police doing to arrest these people? Very often, have you noticed also that during election, people are arrested but nobody is prosecuted.
We don't see the end of it.
Sometimes they do, but we don't have a lot of media covering it. And sometimes a lot of things happen in court. They either will go and plead guilty and they take a fine, or the case gets adjourned, or we don't even have witnesses to pursue the matter. But there are a few times that they are actually prosecuted to the end. But you know, the media, the euphoria is usually at the beginning when everybody is following. But after a while, when there are adjournments and other things, it doesn't attract the attention again of the media. But some of them go on.
I mean, maybe viewers can help us with one individual who has been prosecuted and
for an election-related
offense, violence. We've had many of it, okay? And then people are arrested. Either the police forgets about it, or people have a way of commercializing.
You asked for example. I mean, we saw Blickmanoff. The gentlemen were taken to court. They were fined, and then they paid. I mean, we may question whatever we want to question, but then that is what happened. And
you believe there are questions?
I say you may want to. That is what it is. Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's Ablekuma, because I'm sure it's because of the what you call it, how that whole process went.
Yes.
Okay. And then the individuals involved. How Akumsin, and then the flying guy.
Superman.
Yeah.
Superman.
Shaolin.
Superman.
Yes. But how about Legon? Ayawaso West Wogon. People were.
There was a commission of inquiry for that.
Okay. Who was prosecuted? Nobody was prosecuted.
No, there was recommendations.
Yeah.
Which was at the behest of the law enforcement.
Okay.
And we can question why law enforcement probably did not do A or B.
Well, this interior minister has directed that the recommendations be implemented. So we are waiting to see what will become.
Okay. How about this one?
Stalensi, Tolon, Domikwabenya, even
Akwetia. People carrying ballot boxes that had nothing to do with illegal ballot boxes.
Yeah.
That they were caught with, the ballot boxes smashed, content burnt, and everything. I recall we sat on your show during the election.
Yeah.
We saw, we heard stories. We saw people. There were instances where people were handed over to the police. Later, when the police officers were questioned, they were rather pleading for
fear of victimization.
Yeah,
so
they were just pleading for the for the should I say suspects? They were pleading for them. The police. You get it. I mean,
but I mean, in wrapping up on this conversation, should the courts bother themselves with the, if you like, aftermath of some of these things and sanctions? Because I'm asking because there should be consequences. It comes at a cost to organize a rerun. It comes at a cost to go into any election. And like Doc said, the party's position as against the individual candidate's position, whichever way it is, there is cost involved. So should the court bother itself with some of these consequences? And I'm pointing this in the direction of the EC. Because in this particular matter, the Form 8A is where the whole issue is from. And that is a responsibility of who?
What does the Form 8? What does that?
You should record
the pink sheet.
The pink sheet.
Yeah.
So that's where
it's a summary of the entire election. So even to provide more information on what we were discussing earlier on about the 41 polling stations that have resulted in the entire, it also was one out of the reliefs that the parties were looking for, the petitioner was seeking for. The petitioner sought to say that there were challenges or irregularities with 41 polling stations, and also asked that, and among other things, among the relief sought that because of the declaration and the irregularities, the entire elections run was faulty, and that it should be nullified. So it is born out of the release the person is seeking for. But in matters where we expect the court to make recommendations or perhaps sanctions parties, in civil cases, the court deals with what is before you. The court may make recommendations, may seek to go into those matters, but it is difficult for the court to sanction certain parties if that is not before the court. Unless after this we are able to establish that the particular EC officer acted in a manner that ought to,
but that's
and that would be
the EC's domain.
Yes.
The EC itself should be seen to have taken action based on reportage. The EC could not overturn the declaration by themselves. In fact, that is how the Constitution arranges.
Yes.
That once you declare, to overturn or change, it has to be done by the court.
Yes.
So they were, once the declaration had gone through, they couldn't reverse it.
Yes.
So, and that's why in other cases or scenarios where we felt that the EC had declared, undeclared, were wrong. And
I mean, once you declare, that is it. You can't
it's
go.
not in your
So we've seen it in the Supreme Court in the election petition where the Supreme Court made certain recommendations, and that is how far the court can go. But if we want to take it a step further, where persons who perhaps may have, we can say, have caused us extra costs in all this, then we have to establish that those persons acted out of their official capacity, and then a new process have to begin altogether.
Right.
You may want to file a petition to the police, you may want the police to investigate, and then perhaps put the person before a court to be sanctioned and all that.
That's EC's
But
work.
there are administrative processes that the EC, I'm sure that the EC should have a process that allows them to take reports from every constituency, because the returning officer should be able to file a report of the work that they did, and then make recommendations, observations. And don't forget that the election observers also come around, they also see what goes on, they also file their recommendations. All that should feed into a bigger report that the EC will consider. Don't forget, we have come this far based on certain reports we've received. We used to vote in opaque ballot boxes. We came to the point of using transparent boxes.
Through the
we used
efforts
to
of the MPP.
I don't think so. Never. Don't forget that. Don't forget that.
Ballot box. That one.
They
Rollins
don't
would
see-
even attest
They
to
don't
it.
see the legal environment that was created before.
What about the midwife who gave birth to the child? You're talking about the one who circumcised the child. What about the one who gave birth to the
No,
child?
it's only when the baby dies.
But please, let's put on record
Yeah.
that the MPP has contributed largely to making electioneering more transparent. Likewise, but a lot of the ideas in terms of transparent ballot box,
The MPP
in terms of
boycotted
pink
the-
sheeting,
the
I mean,
MPP
duplication and all that.
Well,
We've done quite a bit. Give it to
the
us.
democratic ecosystem involves all of us.
Exactly.
We are all actors.
Yeah.
The MPP did not act in isolation.
No.
The MPP did so,
Agreed.
and there was a system that allowed them to do it.
to do
There was also cooperation on the other side.
Yeah.
There was compliance of court orders. You should appreciate the fact that it is a complete system.
It's an
And
ecosystem.
don't sit and take credit for.
But can they take credit for being the initiators?
Oh, we all must take credit for how far the country has grown. We must take credit for the participation, the involvement, and the roles we have played
You just don't
significantly.
give us credit. You can't give us
Why do you deserve credit on this?
it's a major thing.
I mean,
especially transparent ballot boxes. Hey, it's major.
You all credit on everything.
You have-
Electoral reforms,
yeah,
economy.
yeah.
Don't worry, take credit
it's
for
national best practices.
Yeah.
You couldn't be doing
The same old thing.
concrete-
the
concrete
world has
ballot boxes.
moved on to
Exactly.
a point, and you are still saying that we should
Even what do you call it?
This thing.
indelible ink.
The indelible.
Not just the ink. The verification.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Maybe.
That's it.
We all
Let me
contribute
take
for
a
the
few quick
countries.
messages and then we move on to other matters. Aminu from Nsawam says, we don't need a prophet to see that there's considerable suspicion surrounding the court's decision to order a rerun of the Kpandai parliamentary election. My question is, a petition was filed asking the judge to nullify the results of about 40 polling stations, yet the judge ended up nullifying the entire constituency's results and ordering a fresh election.
Tell Aminu to
Aminu,
wait for the.
Yes,
the
but
for the judgment.
even that, the 41 was the premise for the nullification
Absolutely.
of the entire
Yes.
constituency
So
results.
it's a relief, the
it's a
petitioners-
relief sought by the
petitioner.
petitioner that
Yes.
was granted or upheld by the court. So I mean,
So he demanded for the nullification
Yes.
of the
Exactly.
whole. Okay.
Yeah.
So he said
Based
that
on the
there were
irregularities in the
irregularities in
41.
41,
Yeah.
and as a result of that, the
Affects the
declaration that was
validity.
made was not in compliance with the LI.
Right.
And for that reason,
Right.
the entire result should be nullified and a rerun should be declared.
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So I mean,
I get you now.
I hope we are clear on that now. Pascal from Afife says, good morning, Nana. I don't know the correlation between a rerun of a parliamentary election and the fight against Galamsey, but the NDC rep sought to insinuate that former appointees were neck deep in Galamsey with comments of this nature, how do we depoliticize the fight against
Is it me
galamsey?
or you?
No, you have to. He's referring to me, but of course, it came from my brother here.
The fight. Well, it was Doc that suggested that, but
Well, that's a passing comment. I don't
yeah.
think there was anything to worry about.
the kind of things people pay attention to, are you surprised?
They should know we don't come here with a script.
Yeah.
We are unscripted.
Absolutely.
Nana watching, the NDC are being selective. They should investigate Talensi, Chirponi, and Itiwa. This is Edwin from KNUST. Okay. Top of the morning, Nana. Is anyone questioning the glut of eggs, chicken, and also the grains? To me, I think let's give credit to the previous government and the Minister of Agric for initiatives made ensuring abundance of staples. Okay.
Which are the ministers?
They're giving you credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr.
Someone is
Brian
giving
Echam.
you credit.
Yeah.
Or the one before him,
I thought Akoto.
Akutu.
We'll give you
Akoto is
it.
missing in action.
Well, Sam, yesterday the Agric Minister spoke on the glut, and apparently we've written to ECOWAS
I wanted to say
and
something
World
about
Food
that.
Program for assistance to
I
mop
wanted
up
to-
the
yeah,
excesses.
Yeah, I wanted to
Briefly.
say something about the election thing. Very often we don't get to hear the EC say that, okay, these officers had, fallen short of.
Or they've
expectations.
transferred some in the past.
No,
Temale.
you just don't transfer.
But what are you doing? You're only transferring competence from one end to another.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
If,
where's the
somebody,
punishment?
if somebody is
Fair
incompetent,
advice.
Deal with it.
he
Yes, this
needs
is my
training.
issue.
He needs further preparation.
Those are
He needs to be removed.
Yeah.
But
But
it's
if you're
internal.
going to punish, it's transfer punishment.
No, what I'm saying is that
In fact, when we even use transfer to punish, we are declaring certain parts of the country as though those places are
Yeah.
unwelcome or zones.
Siberia.
Absolutely.
I think the last case I remember, they transferred and demoted. So he wasn't, a presiding officer anymore. He became like a polling station officer, something like that. So they do some things,
Very
but
well.
it is internal to their administration.
No, it shouldn't be internal because whatever their actions
Exactly.
are,
It has
they
resulted
affect-
in a
yeah,
national-
sure.
And,
I mean-
and even for the public image and public reputation of the EC, we
EC
need
itself.
to see some of these things
Exactly.
happen, and the public need to know so that we gain confidence in the EC that yes, you are taking measures to remedy
You see,
some of
when
these things.
you put it upon yourself, okay, I'm transparent, and people begin to see you in that light. You don't go behind the curtain and take decision, and then you raise your hand and say, oh yes, I've punished him.
Very well. Let's take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll go into the office of the EC and the staff member who's petitioned John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, for the removal of the EC chair and her deputies. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Grateful that you stayed on with us. This is the News Review segment here on Breakfast Daily, live on ChannelOne TV. Send us your thoughts, your comments, and contributions. We're moving into the matter of a petition for the removal of the EC chair, Jean Mensah, and her two deputies, which petition we understand was sent to the president by a staff of the EC. Optics perception. Same Article 146. Has been triggered again. Same that was triggered for the removal of the former Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono. A new CJ has been appointed by John Dramani Mahama, sworn in by John Dramani Mahama. Today, John Dramani Mahama has been petitioned. This time around, this petition is not going to the Council of State. It is going to the CJ, appointed by John Mahama to determine.
Nominated by
Sworn in.
that one.
Well, those are part of the powers of the
Indeed,
president. So.
indeed. But let's look at this whole issue. This petition by this gentleman, what thresholds should a petition meet for the removal of the head or heads of an independent institution such as the EC? Doc, your quick thoughts.
Well, let me admit that these days petitions are not to be looked at face value. I say this because of my surprises with the removal of the CJ and the fact that lawyers who worked for the petitioner were colored in a certain party's color.
Which of them?
I would only mention Chachu Shigata. Okay, and then even people would argue that Theo, or is it Thaddeus?
Thaddeus, sorry.
Is not colored. People argue, but perception.
Do you know Thaddeus very well?
Oh, please, perception. He's actually the lawyer for the
EC.
speaker.
And the speaker.
You know, so my key point.
Speaker's an institution.
Exactly. Thaddeus started his practice
May,
with
may,
Yoni Kulendi.
may I continue?
Oh, okay. Oh,
May I
you mentioned-
continue?
No, you continue, but,
No.
but take note of
Take
this one.
note of this information.
Yeah.
Be informed.
So my key point. No, perception is everything. After all,
Informed perception.
let me admit here that even the CJ largely came out of the woodworks under the MPP administration. So people do change, please. People do change, okay? So
You like the spinner? The one is good at what he does.
You are not a doctor for nothing. You know how to back
At this point, I'm wondering if the medical doctor or doctor of communication.
So my key point is that perception, okay? So though the petition has come out, I'm only saying that it shouldn't be looked at face value. Let's see those who be coming in to enrich the petition by way of those who be pushing this agenda. I feel troubled though in terms of the fact that a lot of these things were in the playbook, and some of us already suspected it based on the happenings when the CJs was triggered. We knew that once this is done, the EC is the next stop.
And some pronouncements that were made by
and I think that for me, as a student of politics, I'm not surprised by these actions, but I worry we need to defend this democracy that we have. And personally, that is where my concern is. Should it be the case that every government, when they come, would, and under their own whims and caprices, decide to just change government institution heads by virtue of the fact that their party is in power? If we keep trending this way, then we will not, one, embolden the institutions, and two, we will be, as it is, enforcing this winner takes all in this country. And by virtue of this, you were talking about if the petition warrants removal of the EC.
Mind you, we've not seen the
So what's the
details.
threshold?
No, I mean,
I'm just asking on the
What's the
threshold.
threshold?
Now, I can, based on past incidents, and I say this with the greatest of respect to the likes of Charlotte Osei and Afarijan, okay? These are the two that in my time I've seen. I'm quite young. I'm deeply concerned that this government came and has changed their judiciary literally overnight.
Come on.
How did they do
don't
that?
say
When
that.
I say overnight,
Change the judiciary.
well, the CJ has been changed, true or false?
Does that change the judiciary?
Oh, please.
Did he say we will change the
His leadership and his lordshipness changes everything.
It doesn't.
Oh,
Come on.
Whose leadership?
I can almost argue here that he has the ability to move some judges around, and that by virtue can
If we
change
say a
outcomes.
potential change,
Yeah.
but to say changes the judiciary, I mean,
If he doesn't
that's
move
kind of unfair.
some judges, it's still a change. Because the practice before him was sometimes, even before cases are heard overnight, a judge is changed. True or false? These were some of the allegations. So please, let's admit the fact that, let's not discount the fact that some high officers can change lives by virtue of the person in the seat. If that was not the case, then we'll not be voting for a new president. Presidency, the executive, if there's an executor who's powerful, very firm, tough, you feel it in the country. So my key point here is that I for one, my my concern. If we go on this path, next government, if it's a different party, knowing Ghanaians, not me, but knowing Ghanaians, it will become the norm. And is that good for democracy? I haven't seen the Americas necessarily changing their electoral commissioner. I mean, changing everything.
Do you know him?
I'm a bit concerned. You know, the Brits, who we, to a large extent, model our lives after. If we look at how they change their PMs, do they necessarily change all the other arms of government? We need to be very careful.
Right.
And that is where my concern is. And I also believe that regardless of who the electoral commissioner is, it has been proven if you win the election, you win it. So the NDC, I think, a true test of their commitment to democracy should have been to keep this woman for the next election, and then possibly, if there's a need, to change her. The reason why I say
You're still
this,
calling for a change.
Indeed.
You only
Yeah.
want, you only want a delay
if
change.
There's a need.
okay. Now,
So what if there's a
if there's a need now, why can't it be done?
what has been proven? Okay, under Charlotte to say the NPP won.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I was
Under
coming to. Jean Mensa.
Jean, NDC, you've won.
Yeah.
So the thing we ascribe to the EC chair and the fears and the worries, really, I think that in the interest of democracy, we should uncolor the EC chair, uncolor it, and remove all this partisan petitioning and removal of people. That is my biggest.
So it's never about the individual, but the office. If we strengthen the office,
Yes. So as it stands now, listen, if we think that this woman was maybe leaning towards the MPP because of the person that appointed her, fair enough. This is the time to test her and let her prove herself to be fair or not fair-handed. Then you have a point. But my key point, and legal counsel or lawyer or CEO, deputy CEO, gaming, my key point is that, listen,
hey, dog.
if we embark on this path, every government that comes, should I be president, me too, I'll change everything. I'll change everybody.
Were you in Ghana a while ago?
No, listen.
You held the same views?
Do you know why I'm at variance with my own party sometimes? Because of some of these things. And I've been bent for it, but I will stand here and talk for Ghana. And my key point, if I had Mahama, I'll tell him that, you know what, you won this election without Jean. Any formidable NDC candidate who can win election will win it without Jean. So let's not put too much emphasis and make it as if the referee only can determine your faith.
Very well.
So a truest test of democracy. The CJ has been done. There's nothing I can do about it. But the EC too, I think that based on the office, let's encourage Ghanaians to look at that office to be not necessarily a determinant of who becomes president. I think it's very important.
Laptake.
Yeah, you cannot,
your
you
thoughts
cannot
on
argue
this.
otherwise.
There are those who, well, it might be oversimplifying the issue, but there are those who say that even the head of an arm of government is gone. So as for EC, she's a goner already.
Well, I don't want to fall into that temptation. For me, I believe that we should look at every issue on its merit.
True.
And deal with it
As it is.
as it is.
Based on the
and
facts.
not worry ourselves with some assumptions of matters of the past and then relate them as difficult as they may be and draw that
But
inference.
coming events cast their shadows.
No, not necessarily.
Appreciate this.
And you can
Now,
fall on history as well.
You may fall on history when you want to, but just pay attention to matters that are
An
before
internal
you.
sentiment of the NDC people.
Are you an NDC person? Are you expressing the sentiment of your own or the sentiment of the NDC? Now you speak for the NDC people.
He has relations
Since when? Don't let your party sanction you for speaking for us.
Let me quote,
let me
Makpos wanted her out even when we're in government. I mean, this is...
See, I would not sit
I'm
here
just making a point.
and pretend as though even myself did not have issues with Jane Mensah's conduct in the last elections. I would not. I had cause to complain. A lot of people had cause to complain, and we saw it. But the petition, which unfortunately we don't have the benefit of the details and we cannot discuss, we cannot exactly know what it contains. But we know for sure that there were issues, there were lapses in the last elections that were pointing at Jane Mensah's leadership and her other deputies. But put that aside. We don't need to look at it from the fact that, oh, it happened to Charlotte, and perhaps that is why it is happening now, and perhaps that's why we have seen the CJ being taken out.
Prove me wrong.
There are rules and regulations that govern these processes. Where there's a stated misbehavior, where there are rooms for incompetence, where there are irregularities, is a basis. The citizens have the right to bring some petitions if they so wish, that they think that they have reasonable basis to do so. It's premature to even think that the petition would fly or not fly, because the president is yet to make any comment on it. The processes are yet to be triggered. We've just gone to the first layer, the first point of activating the system. So let's wait and see. If indeed Jane Mensah did a good job and the petition is not is without merit, I'm sure a decision will be made out of
Veracity.
it. But what is important for us is that we should see this as strengthening our democratic institutions. That there are processes that allow ordinary citizens to bring petitions that can be looked into, and if there are grounds for it to lead to a removal or maintaining someone, why not? I mean, imagine a system where people occupy positions and they cannot be held accountable. Imagine a system where we have people who hold offices and you cannot have a process that allows you to remove or question their performance. Now, think about it. Almost every Ghanaian was disappointed when we had the election petition and Jane refused to testify. Because we felt that she had undertaken a public duty. And there are questions with respect to that public duty. It may be the case that a petition must succeed or fail on the merit of the petitioner's case, and not necessarily on the weakness of the other party. But because of the public interest, because of the fact that she was entrusted with a public duty, it would have been very important for her to have come to testify. If indeed she discharged her duty diligently and did so with the best of her ability and competently, we had expected her to come to court, testify, and that perhaps would have helped us to build more confidence in the EC.
True.
By refusing to testify, even though it's within her right, also has its consequence. The consequence is the public perception, which is an informed perception, unlike my friend's uninformed perception. It's an informed perception. That's
Many choice.
It's an informed perception that the EC has failed to account for the work carried out. Now, here we are, there's a petition filed. Let's see, let's wait. But we have moved away. I mean, we've had elections in this country where the NPP won, despite several complaints about Charlotte Osei's performance and everything. The NDC won the last election, not necessarily because the EC performed better, because NDC put in mechanisms to ensure that the EC will not succeed in its competence, will not succeed in going in bed with the NPP to rig the election. If you know, there were complaints, and I'll give credit here at this stage, even to pay tribute to Dr. Manibuama for the wonderful work that he did during the elections and his team. As a matter of fact, the effort of the team is what ensured that the NDC won the election and won it massively. It's not because the EC performed better. And so, if
no serious party should rely on the EC. Ever. No, I mean...
No, but you see, a while ago, you spoke about how we should strengthen the institutions.
Yes, but
if we strengthen
no
the institutions,
serious
you and I, or parties...
If Donald Trump doesn't believe
then we'll
in
have
the
that
EC.
level of confidence.
Exactly. And the thing is that parties should not be bothered about the work of the EC. They should be focusing on how they can campaign, sell their messages, and convince Ghanaians, and we can hold them accountable. Than to now start thinking about how you can bring in layers and layers of mechanisms to ensure that the EC plays by the rule. You will have to ensure that your agents are well trained. You have to ensure why do I even need an agent if the EC will perform his duty and do it well? because there are rules and regulations governing it. You are following the rules and regulations. Why do I even need an agent today? But look at the cost involved in training your agents, in putting up people around, even setting up a whole collation center that would collect same figures to be able to, what exactly EC is doing, we have parties now more or less duplicating it
the same
at an extra cost to our elections processes and everything. Of course, yes, because you know that the EC is not competent. And so you are forced to put in all the
competent.
No, in this case we saw it in the last election. I mean, we don't need to say it differently. We saw it and we complained. And everyone told us that if you think that the EC is not competent, put in mechanism to ensure your victory. And of course we did so. We stood up to the tax, and then we accepted the challenge. You know, it paid off. Unfortunately, you couldn't do better than us, and of course, your the performance of your government also reflected in the outcome of the results. So there's nothing to worry about. But for me,
governance and candidature.
I'm glad you are admitting it.
Let's not go there.
I know what is leading me.
Reject that invitation.
I'm helping.
I'll take your advice on this. So for me, I think that early days, let's see what the details of the petition will be. Let's see the days ahead. Of course, the persons involved who the petition have been filed against will also be given the opportunity to defend themselves. Yeah. If they have any good defense,
I'm waiting to see his lawyers.
Outcome will come out. So let's see what happens.
Very
Lawyers. It doesn't matter.
I'm waiting to
Larry,
see.
Yes, sir.
let's look at the petitioner, the individual involved.
Yeah.
He's an interdicted staff of the EC. He's not resigned.
Disgruntled.
He's not been sacked. So he's just home, not going to work, chopping salary. He was sued by the EC over some BVD machines that were found on a refuse dump somewhere, but I think it failed in court. So can we draw that it's just
Sour grapes.
Exactly. Is it just sour grapes?
No, well, as the lawyer said,
Some of these things go through processes. Okay, so the
you see the face.
No fall for it. No fall for it.
In Jesus' name.
No doubt. Amen.
It's a process.
It's a process. And these are lawful processes. Someone you say the law
is the law.
Thank you very much.
Caliber 146. Okay,
The law is the law. But the law is
still in somebody's bosom.
It goes jurisprudence,
It's still in somebody's bosom.
So you it's a process.
It's not just that you submit the thing and then off you go. Indeed, a committee is supposed to be put up, and then you, the petitioner, you have to appear before that committee. You state your case, you are cross-examined. The members of the committee will then have to sit and review whatever it is that you had said. Okay? Whether or not you are a disgruntled person, you did something, you were interdicted, so and so, matter went to court, either the court cleared you or all that. We don't know much about it. All those things will be tested, before the committee. Okay?
Yeah.
And so I think that I am all for this. Do you know why? Then we'll be able to compare this particular one to that of Charlotte Osei.
And then future other.
Exactly. And the future ones, you can do it. And in any case,
Are you anticipating petitions?
No, I agree.
It's possible, of course.
No, I agree.
Once we've set the precedents.
Yes. Let's do it.
More petitions.
Let's do. For me, we should do it. Because then
we shouldn't run like robots.
No, one day.
It shouldn't be automatic that somebody did it, so I'll do it.
I'm coming. One day, either we get tired of it, okay, or that out of that we are able to strengthen.
No, but the other side, a good part of it is that it gives anyone who occupies that position, listen, you can be a subject of removal in the future. So do your work.
Do your work well.
Don't
I'm sure all these people know this already before they take up the
they
position.
know it very well. But
you see, when they also think that they can play ball with the ruling party, and in the process, if the ruling party wins, then they
are secure.
They can secure their positions. But you must know that there could be a change.
Yeah.
Irrespective of whatever you do.
Yeah.
And so people, it's just caution. do your job and do it well. Just do it well.
The great Afarijan, people had issues with him, but there was no. I don't think there was any petition.
No attempt to remove him or anything.
To remove him.
I mean, think about it carefully. He was appointed by Rollins. He stayed on. Rollins won 2 elections. Kufuor won.
Kufuor did well.
Yeah.
Kufuor worked with Georgina.
Theodora Wood.
They are not allowing me to
you understand? Kufuor did well.
We're from Georgina Wood in this.
Kufuor did well.
Yeah.
He maintained those people.
So you have, for me, it should be tested.
Yeah.
Again, this is also different from the Opoku, Maxwell Opoku Ajiman one, where, they said, he was doing that for and on behalf of some staff of EC. But to date, you and I don't know
the identity of those petitioners remain unknown.
Okay?
Undisclosed.
The petitions that were sent back for corrections to be made.
Yes,
Can you imagine?
he submitted a thing, and then they called him back.
And signed this particular
Highly mistakes.
Highly questionable.
Yes. And then quickly he went and then corrected it. I thought that was a clever move to say that, listen, we are not going to entertain this. Okay, but no, they called him and then either they told him, okay, here, put I over there, dots there.
It's editing.
My lord, I am guided.
It's editing.
How do you go to the judge and the judge now tells you what to do?
The judge is now guiding you.
And he went and did that.
Such bias.
Submitted it. And quickly, the Chief Justice then, Sofa Akufo, set up a committee to do that. Upon setting up that committee, she told us, she issued a statement saying that if the media doesn't know, and we started commenting on this, and she will cite us for contempt of court.
It was just to gag the media and gag the public.
And we were completely gagged. And all of us kept quiet. By the time, that was over, Charlotte was gone. And what was she sacked on? Procurement issues and breaches. And then administrative, lapses also.
Which breaches actually saved Ghana money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So
I was not there, so.
You and I were not there. Anyway. But,
she saved money, but the accusation is that she didn't use the right process.
Why would you?
Single sourcing.
Yeah, but those ones should not be the basis for a removal. These are administrative processes.
That's why it's important we see the details of this petition and know what is exactly whether it warrants a removal.
But this one, we know the stuff. We know that there are issues. He's apparently yesterday I heard that he wanted to grant an interview to some.
He spoke on Eyewitness last night.
Oh, he did?
Yes, I heard his interview.
Oh, okay. But then he didn't disclose the content of the beyond that.
No,
he has to respect the fact that he has presented
once he
it
has
to the
presented it,
president.
he would stay away from it. Even the details of it, the date of it, he said no,
he won't comment on it.
Yes.
See,
he has good lawyers.
I think all of us should, that thing that happened during the election petition, where we were, misled to believe that Jane Mensah was going to enter the witness box and tell us the numbers that she had disclosed. She declared one in the morning, another one in the mid-morning, then in the afternoon she declared another one. By midday, by the time we went to bed, we had several results.
That don't still add up.
Exactly.
It's not surprising, is it?
The mathematics
were, and if,
no, I mean, listen.
If a lawyer, if a lawyer, of that nature, somebody who had even run a CSO, a civil society organization as IEA, and had all the time called for electoral reforms here and there and so on, you should be the first to say that, listen, I am coming to speak to this thing. I declared it, and that I am coming to justify it.
Particularly when she had even filed a witness statement.
Yes. But to hide behind, whatever.
The rules of court.
Yeah, the use of court. Even Justice Mafo Sao, where his book was quoted, to him, and he says, and then you had judges, 7 judges, who started thinking alike.
Unanimous
FC, and were nicknamed, led by the Chief Justice then, Akwesi Yeboah Eni.
Yes.
I mean, listen, Eni Yeboah. that was one of the biggest, what you call it? Lapses as far as our electoral this thing is concerned. Can we do the rules in such a way that the EC, anytime there's a contest, must be ready to justify whatever result, so that her rules or his rules or the whatever governing their the administration will be different from all other institutions. They shouldn't have special what you call it, special privileges such that don't declare the numbers, don't speak to the numbers that you are declared. Mount what?
A witness box.
Yes, a witness box, and justify the numbers. You see, when it favored the MPP, the law is the law. But tomorrow, when it's against them, you will see what we'll hear in this town.
Well, we've been told that now that sometimes not all men are equal before the law.
Okay.
Animal farm.
Yes, you get it. We don't have to get to this level. Bossman Asari, I mean, he's made comments, NDC had issues with it, where, he described NDC as a threat to Ghana's democracy.
Yes.
People thought that statement was totally unnecessary. He shouldn't have said that.
In the capacity.
Yes, I don't think he's been out there and very vocal, very damaging, like, the other two.
But this petitioner is a staff.
Yeah.
So perhaps he knows what happens inside.
Okay, I agree. And then he'll be able to speak to
exactly.
And he's not just an ordinary staff, he's an IT staff.
Very well.
Yeah, he'll be able to speak to his numbers.
Yeah.
Again, going back to Akufo-Addo's victory in 2020, I think that the fact that group, as in the EC executive, refused to speak to his numbers was a little, it damaged his victory to a certain extent. And I'm saying that going forward, I think Parliament will have to sit down and say that, hey, or the constitutional reform would have to take notice of some of this and say that, listen, all others, but not the EC. Because, listen, EC's refusal to speak to some of these things have led to conflicts in some other countries.
Yeah.
So, again, if you have proclaimed yourself to be very transparent, you have to be transparent all through and not be hiding behind judges.
Very well.
Carefully selected, cleverly selected, doing whatever it is that to favor you.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time.
Let
me take a few quick messages.
How about that quick one?
Our time is up. Bonti Benjamin says our democracy can stand by building strong institutions and not using power to settle.
Bonti Benjamin, is he still around?
Well,
he's my friend.
Bonti Benjamin says and not using power to settle unnecessary scores. Yesterday was CJ, today it's EC. So where do Ghana stand to benefit in all these?
IGP
Lord have mercy.
He used to be a presidential staffer. Was that what Akufo-Addo did?
IGP is next.
Good morning. This is Abdul Ganiu Mankarigu from Savannah region. When Justice Atuguba stated in the 2012 presidential election case that the will of an entire constituency cannot be overturned simply because someone failed to sign a document, how does this compare? He wasn't referring only to the presidential election, he meant a whole constituency. Whether it's presidential or parliamentary, you can't nullify an entire constituency's results based off issues from a few polling stations. So stop that. Well, we've explained that it was the reliefs sought by the petitioner.
Yeah. But 41 is not a few.
It's not a few.
No, it's not a few.
Yeah.
Significant.
Yeah, even 19 we went to rerun. So.
Yeah.
He says with the number of MPs the NDC has in parliament, what exactly are they doing for all Ghanaians? Okay. Nana Boateng, this was a campaign promise and it's being executed. All Ghanaians know is Nanado 1 under Charlotte Osei, so no news. Edwin from KNUST. Okay, I don't know when or where this promise was made, but if you say so.
Yeah, but this is a staffer who has petitioned, though. Yeah, let's find out whether it's NDC.
Well, he says it's Edwin from KNUST. The staffer.
No, the staffer.
The EC
he's
staff.
an IT staff.
No, the EC staff cannot belong to any party.
Okay,
yes. EC staff
so it's clear where his problem is coming from.
Yeah.
He can have grievance with the woman without party colors.
Master Planner Junior, policy analyst in Kintampo says the rerun should be only in those 41 polling stations where the irregularities happened. I don't know why the court should order the EC to rerun in the entire constituency. Well, we've already explained it. The relief sought by the petitioner is what has brought us here. I'm shocked with the NDC lawyer's comments. Was he in Ghana when Afarijan made mistakes in 2012? was he sacked? They should continue and will do same in 2028. 2028 Ghanaians will vote. We only have 3 Christmases left. People are doing countdown. Good morning, able team. I extend my warm regards to lawyer Lamti Gapanga for his insightful comments on the incompetence of the Jean Mensah EC. I cannot but agree with him that the public perception about the integrity of the EC has eroded under the current leadership, and it's about time the trial has shown the exit. Council's contributions justifies the position of many Ghanaians who expressed grave dissatisfaction at the EC in the run-up to the 2024 elections. Jean Mensah, and this is in caps, Jean Mensah and her 2 deputies must go. This is John Paul from Namdam. Thank you so much, Council. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Larry. Thank you. It's been a great session. Hopefully, we'll find time to do this again. This has been the News Review segment here on Breakfast Daily. Stay with us. The show continues after this.